Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed time for me to react to my Premier League predictions now that we are done with this season's Premier League football. It was a very entertaining season. We had a handful of teams do either really well or really, really poorly, so I don't know how I'm going to go exactly, but I think it'll be a mix. Let's find out. Working our way from the bottom to the top, we have Norwich City finishing in 20th. I put them in 19th place, so okay, one offer there. They won the championship last season, obviously didn't really invest that much, and then just like 3 years ago, coming out from the championship, immediately failing and getting 20th place. They've basically done the same thing. They did pick up Dean Smith, but just the lack of depth and quality in their squad was always going to happen. They could very well come back next season. They might trade places with like Fulham and they could have this constant back and forth, but I don't know. Norwich, one place off, fair enough. Now in 19th place is Watford. I did not say that Watford would get relegated. I thought they'd finish 17th, but they have indeed finished in 19th. They actually finished the championship last season quite strongly, and I thought that they'd continue that momentum and like just survive, but they didn't start the Premier League well at all, had plenty of sackings and, well, just a terrible home record. So, yeah, not really surprised at the end of this. But, yeah, they got relegated. I put Burnley in 18th, and 18th is where they finished. So, the first spot-on prediction. And, look, I've been putting Burnley in the relegation zone for how long now? Like, they're not a Premier League team. The size of their squad, the quality, their wage bill, they're just not a Premier League team. They are a championship team at best that has been surviving for so long in the Prem. It's extremely impressive. Got to give Sean Dyche a heap of credit. I thought that there was a chance he could have been sacked. In fact, I literally said this. There's a possibility, I know it'd be wild to even consider it, that maybe if they don't do well, if they look like they could be getting relegated, Dyche could be let go. Straight up predicting that there was a pretty good possibility of him getting the sack. It happened, and it didn't save him, so down Burnley go, finally. Leeds United finished in 17th place. I put them up into 12th because obviously, let's not forget, last Premier League season, they finished in 9th place under Bielsa with the murder ball, you know. I thought that they would definitely drop off a bit, but not 17th. Very surprised by how poor Leeds were this season. Interesting question over, will Jesse Marsch stay or is he going to go and be replaced by someone else? But either way, he's kept them up. Is he good enough to keep the job? We'll find out. Now, this is the biggest shock by far of the Premier League. Maybe it tied with another team. Nah, who are we kidding? Everton nearly got relegated this season. Are we kidding ourselves? I thought that they were going to finish like 8th, maybe not, like, you know, just in the top 10. I did not think that they'd be in a relegation battle with a very likely chance of going down with about 2 or 3 games to go. The club was toxic from the start of the season with obviously a poor start and being Rafa Benitez, the gaffer at the helm. Oh man, the toxicity. It didn't take much for the whole team and for the whole club to turn sour. Their transfers that they made absolutely just suck. And I'm not just talking about this season, but seasons prior, but especially in January. Like, what the fuck? They got Dele Alli, they got Van der Beek, they got El Ghazi, all of which did almost nothing. Richarlison was really the big hero. Got like 15 or close to 20 goal and assist contributions to actually keep them up. And the home games toward the end of the season, really, you know, that incredible atmosphere that the Everton fans were putting on, trying to keep their team up, that went a long way as well. But what the hell is Everton doing this low? I would be shocked if they were even somewhat close to this position next season. Southampton in 15th. Obviously, it feels like Southampton lose a key player every season. This season, obviously, it was Danny Ings. They didn't replace really anyone, didn't make any improvements. And, well, Southampton's failed to get above, like, I think it's 40, 45 points for the last couple of seasons. They only got 40 points this season. You didn't really expect them to go up or down. There was even a chance they probably would have just gone lower than they would have gone higher. So 15th place, when I said they'd be 16th, fair enough, one off there. Aston Villa, I thought, would also do a lot better this season. You know, I predicted them to go 9th. They finished 5 off. So I'm getting like 3 of my worser picks out of the way here in Leeds, Everton, and Villa. They did lose Grealish, which was a loss, but not like statistically a huge loss. He didn't really contribute a whole bunch of goals or assists to their campaign. They replaced him with like, Leon Bailey. And oh, he was shocking. He did like, in 18 games, he has 1 goal and 2 assists. Jacob Ramsey thankfully came in and sort of provided a bit. And they picked up some other decent players that, you know, were obviously not too bad. But, surprised by Villa not doing as well as I thought they could have done better this year. This is probably the one that I've equally stuffed up with. Oh, actually, no, I think the Everton one's worse. Everton, I got off by 8 places. This one by 7. And I tell you what, every single time I put a team in 20th, they bang. I'm telling you, Brentford in 13th place. I did say there was a chance that they could have gone on a run, and they definitely did. Bloody hell, playoff teams do not normally finish anywhere above like the bottom 5 in a Premier League season, okay? That's why I thought, yeah, probably going to end up going down again, or at least finishing in that sort of position. Put them in 20th. Maybe that is definitely harsh looking back when you've got teams like Norwich, for example. But Christ almighty, fair play to Thomas Frank for getting the absolute most out of that Brentford team. And hell, they actually pretty much slowed down toward the end of the season, and that's even when they picked up Christian Eriksen. Almost arguably as impressive as Brentford is Crystal Palace in 12th place. I had these guys in 15th, so they finished a bit higher than what I thought they would finish. And you know what? I thought that Crystal Palace wouldn't do as well this season, still stay up, but Patrick Vieira, obviously a very inexperienced manager. His previous tenures were like, what? New York City FC in the MLS, and he had a really terrible run. I think it was at Marseille, got sacked, and then came to Palace. It didn't really bode well. But hey, fair play to Vieira, because I think he's pretty much given Crystal Palace maybe their best ever season in the Premier League since they came up. In 11th place, I put, or should I say Newcastle finished 11th. I put them 13th, and God, at the beginning of the season, looked like we were going to be closer to 20th than we were to finishing above that 13th place that I put them. And thank God the bloody takeover came through, because without it, yeah, we almost definitely would have been relegated, but it happened. Finally, oh my goodness, we brought in all that star quality talent like Bruno Guimaraes. Oh my Lord, how the hell do we have him? And just a slew of other great players, guys, and weren't major money signings, but Kieran Trippier, and didn't really even play that much. Same along with a handful of other players, like, but oh my God, Matty Target and Dan Burn, not the crazy big signings that you would expect for a team with all the money in the world, but God, they were huge. And Eddie Howe was massive. And my Lord, we were one of the best teams in the Premier League toward the end of the season. I would say Newcastle, obviously I'll save my predictions for, you know, when toward the start of the next season, but I would not be surprised, genuinely, if we kept adding talent to the team. I think that a European place may not be out of the question. Not top 4, but like 6th, 7th, 8th. Christ, we've got like the 4th or 5th best record in 2022 in the Prem. I think it could happen. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But holy hell, what a season for Newcastle. In 10th place was Wolverhampton Wanderers. I had these guys 11th. Oh my God, I've had so many just one-offs so far. It's so frustrating. They lost Nuno as their manager. Obviously, Jimenez coming back from the injury. I thought they'd probably do about okay. And, you know, like they were teetering between just outside the top 10 and making a bit of a push for Europe, although it never looked like they were going to get it. But yeah, Wolves have become a pretty solid mid-table side right about now. So to be one off, I think is, you know, they've had an okay season for sure. Brighton in 9th place have definitely had a very good season. I put them in 14th. So hopefully that's the last club that's quite a way off where I put them in this team. I think that is definitely Brighton's best season in the Premier League since coming up. One team that I was actually kind of slewed for putting in 8th place, Leicester City. I had a few comments and a few people tell me that they thought Leicester were going to finish way higher than this. And in the end, I put them in 8th. They've ended up finishing in, what, 7th place. So, or no, I thought they'd be in 7th place, sorry, and they finished in 8th place. So if anything, I actually gave them too much credit. Obviously, they lost a handful of players to injury, like Vardy being the main one. He was missing for a bit of a chunk of the middle part of the season. But I think next season, I wouldn't be surprised if they finished in a similar spot. West Ham United seem to be a pretty solid team in that sort of just outside European places like 6th, 7th. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in a similar position next season. Newcastle's now entering the picture, and I don't know if Everton are going to be able to bounce back straight away to get back up into those places, but regardless, Leicester, 8th place, one off again, so close again. West Ham United, I put in 10th place, thinking that, oh, they had a great season last season, they overperformed clearly, and they weren't going to do as well this season. Well, West Ham went and finished 7th. To be fair, that was one position lower than they finished last season. They also finished with like, what? I think they only got 56 points this season. Last season, they got something like, I think it was 65. So they did slide a little bit. They did lose a handful of points, but still, you would almost argue an equally impressive season with their run in the Europa League, albeit falling short of the final and finishing still in a Europa League place. I mean, or European place. It is going to be Conference League, but hey, West Ham playing any sort of European football, I don't think they can complain. In 6th place is Manchester United. Now, look, there are definitely some teams on this list that I look back and go, oh yeah, that was a bit silly. I probably should have done a bit better there, like Brentford putting them in 20th, for example. But Nah, I got to be honest with you. Manchester United, I put them third, and I'm not even going to be like, oh, wow, I'm such an idiot. No, Manchester United are just fucking shit. They are just a disgrace of a football club. They are the most expensive team ever assembled. They added Cristiano Ronaldo after I made my prediction video, after already adding Sancho and Varane, and everything was there for them to win possibly a Premier League title this season and compete with Man City and Liverpool. They have the pieces, but they did not put it together, and I'm astonished at how bad they are considering what they have available to them. It's an absolute stinker, Manchester United, and I'm not even embarrassed by putting them in third, because that is the minimum that club should have finished in. It's a disgrace of a season by Manchester United. Their fans rightfully should be pissed off. And my God, I hope Erik ten Hag can steer the ship in the right direction for that club, because with what's at their disposal to be finishing in 6th, Europa League, no, but he nearly got Conference League in the last day of the season. What a shambles of a footy club. Arsenal in 5th place. I put them in 6th. You know what? One off, just missed, and I'm still okay with this. That's fine, just missing them off by the 1. It's a shame I didn't really nail anyone in the top 6, but I'm going to be off by 1 for many clubs. They finished 8th last season. They have a super young squad, so obviously I thought they'd do better than 8th. They'd slightly improve, so that's why I maybe put them only in 6th, but not 5th, my lord. They definitely had quite a bounce back after their terrible start to the season, didn't they? I reckon we can watch this team get even better next season. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal maybe made top 4. I feel like Chelsea are obviously going to be a strong side, but Man City, Liverpool, they're not going anywhere. I think Tottenham look quite strong. We'll talk about them in a second. I don't know. Manchester United maybe will get their act together, maybe not. I'd be surprised, but maybe Arsenal could find their way back up into the top 4. Maybe Chelsea could drop off. I guess we'll see. We'll move up into the top 4. We'll talk about Tottenham, obviously. They're 4th. I put them 5th. Again, just off by a little bit. So frustrating. Kane did start the season slow after. Yes, he did stay. He didn't go to Manchester City. I'm sure he's kicking himself now that they've signed Haaland. I honestly thought Harry Kane would have been a better fit at Manchester City than Haaland. I mean, not to say Haaland's not going to do well, but yeah, Spurs, I mean, he started off slow, but he still finished with like 17 goals. So, you know, fair play to him. He's actually had an okay year. Conte obviously made them quite solid. He had to go through some teething pains there for a while, but I think they're actually quite strong now, and I reckon they could be, you know, quite a surprise next season. I've got them down for top 4 with the way they're playing at the moment. We'll see how transfer activity could change that. And quietly, by the way, Heung-min Son, holy crap, what a player. Golden boot, and he got it with 0 pen goals as well, alongside Mo Salah. So fair play to him. I genuinely think, even though everyone knows he's great, I still don't think he's getting enough praise. He really is underrated, despite being so good. Now, Chelsea in 3rd place. I had them in 2nd place. I thought they'd do just a little bit better. You know, got to remember when the start of the Premier League season happened, they were European champions. They were coming off of the back of that big win in the final against Manchester City themselves. Would that give them a bit of a mental edge in the league? I don't know. With Tuchel at the helm and looking really strong, they just signed Lukaku, who, remember, yes, we know with hindsight, did not play well this season, was a bit of a flop. He was banging them in at Inter, so I was sure that he would come back and do well. And Chelsea they've got this track record of signing a real high quality striker and winning them the league. That one signing, like a Diego Costa or something like that. Lukaku didn't turn out that way. I thought they'd also maybe do like a Liverpool where they won the Champions League and then the next season won the Premier League. Didn't happen that way. Still finished 3rd, but could have been better. Now, Liverpool, maybe this is a bit of a dumb one looking back. I probably could have put them 3rd, but Chelsea were the one at the time that were looking way better than Liverpool at the start of the season. But still got to remember what this Liverpool team is. I mean, for crying out loud, they did finish in 2nd. I did put them in 4th, 1 point away from actually winning the title. So that would have been really embarrassing if they actually did. But again, you got to remember, toward the end of last season, they really dropped off. They lost 9 games and failed. I think they got 20 wins out of 38, which is still pretty good, obviously, for most clubs. But for Liverpool, not that great. I think they failed to get above 70 points. I think they got 68, 69 points last season. So I didn't think there was a chance that they would get even close to Manchester City to possibly win the title. I mean, hell, 69 points, Liverpool's total from last season. That would only get you 5th place in the Premier League this season. So maybe I'm not too surprised, actually. You know, looking back, I still feel okay about my Liverpool 4th pick, but you know, for them to get as close as they did to the title, fair play to them. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next season they could win it. But again, we'll save that for the actual Premier League predictions when we do them. And of course, the champions again, back to back again, Manchester City. They are just too strong in this competition. Pep Guardiola has turned the Premier League into La Liga, where there's only 2 teams that can win it, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Now we just got Manchester City and Liverpool, and he is the king of the league competition. He can't quite put it together in the Champions League. He actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the Sir Alex Ferguson. Amazing in the Premier League, won it almost every single time. Champions League, he faltered quite a fair bit, didn't actually have that much success. Will it happen for him eventually? I don't know, but I did predict Man City would win the title. Man City have won the title. This team is essentially the same team. Yes, they added Jack Grealish, which was nice, but I thought he was just an okay player that came in for an astonishing amount of money. I didn't think he'd revolutionize the team or anything. And look, we got to remember that this is still the same team with the same DNA as a side that won 20 games in a row last year. They're just too consistent. They're too good. They go on 2 ridiculous runs of streaks of games and wins. So I felt good about this pick, and I ended up going with it, and I stuck with my guns, and we got it. That means we only got 2 out of 20 bang on, which it's a hard thing to do to get them absolutely spot on, but 9 out of 20 I got within 1 place. So that is really, really good. And 15 out of 20 I got within 3. So really, I've only got about 5 teams here that I really dropped the ball for. All right, Leeds, yeah, really not done too well there, particularly, unfortunately. I didn't really see them dropping off that much, to be fair. Everton, I don't think anyone should have seen that coming. Yeah, with Rafa being the manager, I knew that it would have been a bit toxic, but Christ, I thought it'd be at least better than a relegation battle. And then you've obviously got Brentford and Aston Villa. Yeah, I could have done better there. Brighton, you know what, that's also quite a surprise to see them as high as 9. On top of where I predicted certain teams to finish, I also predicted things like player of the season. I decided to say, you know what, stuff it. Let me predict an absolutely wild, out of nowhere winner. Obviously, we know it's Kevin De Bruyne with his 15 goals and 7 assists. I thought it would be Kai Havertz with 8 goals and 3 assists. I didn't really know why, but he only got 11 goal contributions, to be fair. That's half of what Kevin De Bruyne got, and it's way off what Salah and Son got, and I think they're probably better shouts than maybe De Bruyne for the Premier League player of the season, but I don't know. That was just a random one. I just thought, oh, this would be insane if it came off. It didn't even come close. I did, however, predict Bukayo Saka to win Young Player of the Season, and I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like he is the Young Player of the Season. I know it went to Phil Foden, but I feel like that's a bit ridiculous because Bukayo Saka got 11 goals and 7 assists. Phil Foden got 9 goals and 5 assists. Make it make sense. I feel like Saka had a better year for Arsenal than Foden did for City. I know City obviously did better than Arsenal, but I feel like that's a bit of a robbery. I feel a bit robbed. Me and Saka, we both got robbed. Saka should have been Young Player of the Season for me. And I also went with another pretty safe pick. I mean, I think I'm allowed it when I say Kai Havertz is going to be Player of the Season. I just went with Harry Kane to win the Golden Boot. He just had too slow a start, didn't he, really? He actually still got 17, which is not bad. I mean, if you get close to 20 goals in a season, like, that's fine, but obviously we know it now. It went to Salah and Heung-min Son with 23. But regardless though, people, that was the 21-22 Premier League season. I'm mixed on my predictions this year. I wish I got a few more spot on, but overall I think I'm okay. I feel like I just got 4 or 5 teams, which is more than I would have liked. Way off. Everyone else is pretty damn solid, so I guess I'll take it. Try to go a little better next season. It's going to be a ripper season next season. We've already got Haaland joining the league. We've got Liverpool and Man City. I'm sure going to go back at it again. Will Ronaldo stay? I'd like to think hopefully he will. Will Man City steer the ship right? Will Everton continue to be crap? Will Newcastle take over? I don't know. We will wait and see. Too many question marks. Bring on the next season. I cannot wait. God damn it. We have to wait, what, 2-3 more months for this shit? Oh, for crying out loud. Thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Buckley, aka The Master Bucks. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Be sure to drop a like if you have already too. If you've made it this far, I'd seriously appreciate it. It would seriously go a long way. Until the next video, people, see you all next time. Catch you later, and bye-bye.